Both of these teams familiar with AstroTurf at Curly Field and, of course, here at Homewood Field. And Vecchione winning the face for the Jays over to Peter Jacobs, who scored a goal against Maryland. So Hopkins goes on the attack for the first time. Under the lights here at Homewood. That's Kelly, Cavallaro, and Jacobs. So they're starting the number 2 midfield as Kelly worked over by the 6'4" Anderson. Kelly's only 5'5". There's Cavallaro with that spin move. Over to Kelly, out on top, and it's broken up. Loyola, of course, playing with a lot of intensity, and they certainly want to win this one for the first time in history.
That was an interference with the goalie in the crease call as Tim McGeeny was making the outlet pass. A Hopkins stick hit his stick, so that'll be a free clear for Loyola. Tonight's officials, Chris Ely, Tom Young, and Jack Tucker.
So now Loyola going on the attack for the first time in this one. That's Anderson, met defensively by Tim Colbert. Out on top, that's Pat Irvin. And he gives it up for Canterbury. And the ball is first time since 1963 these two teams have met.
Nice defense on the last play by Tommy Sullivan, who denied Kevin Beach the ball. Just got a stick in the gloves, and Beach couldn't handle it.
Ryan Kelly now takes the feed for the Jays. Hopkins burning the nets for 17 against Army, 19 against the University of Maryland. So the offense certainly has been sizzling the last several games. And, of course, Loyola's biggest win this season coming against the Orangemen in the second game of the season. All right, here's Jacobs. Pair of 6'4" players, Anderson and Jacobs, out on top. A shot to score. Brian Kelly. A wicked lined effort, and the Jays get on the board first in this one and lead 1-0.
Great shot by Brian Kelly. Draws the double team and finds Kelly. Kelly likes the shot right in the offside high corner. McGeeny guessed low on that. Nice shot by Kelly.
So we played 1 minute and 50 seconds. Hopkins leading early on in this one. Vecchione winning another face. The wraparound, and I'll tell you what, the physical intensity starting right out of the box in this one. And the crowd, you can hear them. Two intra-state rivals meeting for the first time in almost 30 years, and the Jays have never been beaten by Loyola. Brian Piccola, part of the dynamic duo, as they have been called, Reardon and Piccola, leading scorers for the Blue Jays. Marchant, the freshman from Severn. And it's picked up in flight for Loyola. This is Billy Wilson. The defenseman races in, and that shot was blocked by the outer defense.
Great hustle there. Burke for Hopkins, diving and sliding on the turf as Derek Radovoff also dove. Great effort. This is going to be an emotional game. You can tell right away both teams are keyed up to play this matchup.
Scott Malika, as the Jays have got to get it out of the box within 10 seconds, and Malika does so. They're tripling up on Marchant. Casey Gordon, the transfer out of Virginia, really finding his footing over the last several games. Seeing a lot more playing time. This is Alex Wadkowski. He's met defensively by Mafan Udo. And it's blocked. And Loyola plays it over the midfield line. That's Rob Burke, the senior out of Garden City, New York. Jays defensemen have been racing toward the goal. At least they did against Maryland. Here's Terry Reardon. And he's pushed from behind, and we've got a whistle and stoppage in play.
Reardon's going to be in the crease. That was nice defense by Stan Russ, who held his position. Stan is just as big as Terry Reardon and probably even stronger. You'll watch here. Stan, maybe a little cross-check there, but he pushes and then gets a check, and the shot goes wide, and Reardon falls in the crease. Ross, a local product out of Boys Latin School. Nice defensive effort there. He matches up well against Reardon.
Loyola Anderson played basketball for 4 years here at Loyola, and the pass is intercepted by Johns Hopkins, and a Fine play made by Pat Irvin, the freshman out of St. Mary's of Annapolis, as the ball went along their sidelines.
Marcus came out of the net, as he should, in that 10-man ride for Hopkins. But Irvin came across to check the ball out of bounds, so Loyola will maintain possession.
So now, going on the attack, Loyola. 1-0. Johns Hopkins leading by virtue of a goal triggered by Kelly. And that time, Anderson falls down. Perhaps the weather did him in, and Charlie Spino out of Delaney races in on a 5-on-4. Got Reardon stationed head on. Paul Canabine meets him defensively for Loyola. That's Casey Gordon, 6'2", 180-pound junior out of Baltimore. He attended Gilman School. Marchant, the freshman, has his stick check. Picola with the injured rib. Tripled up on. Tempers flaring early on in this one.
There's a lot of stick swinging already, Howard. That time, Picola was a little late with the stick, and Burke also hit Jason Foley right in the back of the head. Watch this. Watch after Picola misses this ball, or after he loses it. Maybe we'll be able to see the retaliation, but the sticks are flying. Nice check there by Matt Dwan. Here it is again. That could have been a slash. No call, though. The ref's letting the teams play.
So Loyola going back on the attack. This is Canabine. He's been controlling the ball offensively. Over to the junior, Irvin. And now Irvin for the leading scorer. And this is Kevin Beach. Sparkling against Syracuse. Netting the winning goal. That's number 24. Look for him to bull dodge off of the right and left side. That time the Jays were able to stop him.
He stepped in the creek.
And fans with the scorer, Johns Hopkins 2, Loyola Greyhounds nothing, with the rain coming down here at Homewood under the lights. We'll be coming back at you. Weather, this is the largest crowd of the season at Homewood Field. Umbrellas very much in vogue. First time these two teams have met since 1963, and the Blue Jays have been victorious 29 consecutive times. Now to the face-off, Steve Vecchione against Paul Canabine. Canabine out of Irondequoit High School in Rochester. But Hopkins wins this face-off once again. That's Matt Dwan, a sophomore, Yorktown Heights, New York. Hopkins has gotten early leads both against Army and Maryland, and then tonight against Loyola. So that offense is really revved up. Tough time to play the Blue Jays.
And they've been playing better defense, too. They've been giving up some goals. They gave up 11 to Maryland, but they've been playing fundamentally sound defense.
Leading scorer for Loyola with a bull dodge. Here's Beach. He shoots and scores. Kevin Beach gets Loyola cooking in this one with the first goal of the game. The leading scorer, the sophomore, 6'5", 220 out of Ellicott City, Maryland, and Mount St. Joseph's High School.
6'5", 220, used all of it there, leaning into Sullivan. Watch his strength now. He just protects his stick so well. Sullivan leans in, but he just bowls his way and puts it between the legs of Marcus. Nice play by Beach there. Watch him protect his stick and then just lean in and bull his way to the net. Shoots the ball low. There's no way Marcus can make that save.
26th goal of the season for Beach, and he's also the leader in assist. Canabine win in the face. Loyola trying to get the equalizer. Out on top. Oh, like a whooping whistle for the infraction. I tell you, the physical intensity right out of the box in this one.
That's going to be a holding call. Cross-check hold. It's a 30-second technical violation. So Hopkins, now the man-down unit, will jog onto the field. Hopkins uses 5 different players for man-down. They're all substitutes. They're man-down specialists.
Both teams with a lot of depth. Martin, Halliday, and Duffy remaining the second midfield.
Loyola now man for 30 seconds.
That's Kevin Beach. Now on top now, Derek Radaball for Heffernan. That's Heffernan handling the 3 on his uniform. He's got a lot of quickness. Normally he's inverted from behind, so a new offensive display right here. Beach got a man slanting in. The shot is broken up. Anticipated very well by the Blue Jays. And Mike Wallman now looks to clear. A nifty short hop pick up on the part of the Jays' Chris Spears.
Nice short hop catch by Steer. And Hopkins survives the man-up opportunity by Loyola. But Howard, it looks like they knew what play Loyola was going to do there. I got to credit the coaching staff for good scouting.
Here's Marchand with a bull dodge. He walks in and a save. McGeeny, the All-American, came down and cut down the angle. Nifty over the head grab. This is Andy Martin, the junior out of Edgewood, Maryland. Opportunity for the equalizer for Loyola. Dan Burnham. Burnham's a senior out of Henninger High School in Syracuse. So many fine players come out of that area. And against Delaney High School product in Baltimore, Charlie Spino. Spino kicks it, but Heffernan played for Essex Community College last year in Maryland. A lot of patience employed by the Greyhounds. Undoubtedly, their biggest win was against Syracuse. And here's a leading scorer, 6'5". Look for him to try to bull, and perhaps he forced it. Waltman was on him defensively.
Nice job by Waltman there, taking away Beach's right hand. He's a predominant righty. If you can force him lefty, you've done a good job defensively.
Out on top, threatening long range. And Holliday called for a warning off call, and it'll turn back to Johns Hopkins.
Late arriving crowd here, but there's quite a few people in the stands, and now Hopkins set to clear. Loyola quite aggressive on their ride this evening. They want to pressure the Blue Jays.
Jays would like nothing better than to start running and gunning, but the defense very quick to react, and they force Hopkins to settle things down. Good crowd on hand, and you know, you got to remember it is really raining hard here, and perhaps some of the crowd will be late in arriving. Good spin move. Cavallaro, he shoots and scores. Cavallaro, the spin move. He did a 360 off of the right side of the netminder, Tim McGeeny, and he blazed it home, and Hopkins equals their largest lead in this one at 3-1. And we'll be back to Homewood Field. 5:16.
This business great, as usual.
So, Coach, is the Tavern team ready for tomorrow's game?
We're ready. I even gave him a curfew. We're really looking good. Very disciplined.
Yeah, those guys don't have a chance for us, Steve.
This meal is great.
I hope your team's as good as our meals.
Hey, guys, you know the coach is out back having dinner? Check, please. Check, please. It's really a shame that
Time against Syracuse. They have a 1-goal loss to Brown and a 1-goal loss to Hofstra. And for Johns Hopkins, of course, their only losses of the season coming to Princeton and North Carolina.
If you look at Loyola's record, they win one, they lose one, they win one, they lose one, they win one, they lose one, and they win one. They have yet to put two back-to-back wins together.
And, of course, Johns Hopkins, after the early loss to Princeton, they're 5-1 after that. And, of course, they appear to be playing very well offensively over the last couple ball games, scoring 17 and 19 goals against some real good ball clubs, Army and Maryland. All right, out on the face-off now. This is Vecchione. Peter Jacobs. A wet ball. Notice the rain splashing up on this AstroTurf. Chris Healy, the referee, along with Tom Young and Jack Tucker.
Loyola ball off the face-off. There was a loose ball push. Loyola set to clear.
Billy Wilson, 6'3", 200-pound junior out of Camillus, New York. He attended West Genesee High School. When he's not playing lacrosse, he enjoys swimming and canoeing. He's a big boating enthusiast. Matt Jackson. The body starts to fly once again. So, have you ever seen such congestion at the midfield line?
Seemed as if all 20 players, actually all 18 players minus the goaltenders, were up at the midfield line. That's going to be a push against Hopkins. Loyola now set to go on offense. Dan Burnham, number 9. I thought he played a great game against Syracuse. Really controlled the tempo well.
Here's a spin move out on top. This is Burnham. And it's blocked by the outer defense. Dan Evans. And then broken field running as he takes it over the midfield line. Scott Malika did the same thing as a defenseman. He took it all the way against Maryland last week. A length of field dash to score one for the Jays. David Townsend picked up defensively by Wilson. Good anticipation on the defense on the part of Jason Foley, Yorktown Heights, New York sophomore. And then he threw it over the midfield line. A little anxiety on the part of the Greyhounds.
Yeah, a little impatience there. You have a full 10 seconds. You might as well toss the ball back to your goaltender. Hopkins will control. We've seen the players slip around on the field, but another problem when it rains is that your gloves get heavy and all your equipment soaks a lot of water. And the leather sticks also get wet, and that can affect...
165 out of Linthicum, Maryland. He attended North County High School. Gordon with a forced drive. That's on Flint. Mark O'Brien, a freshman from Springfield, Virginia, West Springfield High School, had him wrapped up, and Gordon may have forced the shot. Stan Ross with some good defensive work, and Loyola steals the ball. You credit Ross, 6'6", 225 sophomore out of Boys Latin. He learned well from Bobby Schreiber, the fine head coach. 25 seconds and counting in this first quarter. The Hounds are down by 3. That is their largest deficit thus far in this one. Former basketball player at 6'5". This is Anderson, and he whistles it wide right. Anderson has not only played at the midfield, but has also seen netminding duties last year for Dave Cottle's Greyhounds.
Anderson is one of the best athletes right now playing Division I college lacrosse.
And that's it, fans. We've reached the end of the first 15 minutes here at Homewood Field. Howard Nash along with Quinn Kesenick. Happy to have you with us for Lacrosse 93 action. Oh, Vecchione with a wicked check. And Stan Wilson at 6'4" felt the full impact of that one.
This is the most physical game we've seen yet this year. Both teams going at it with the sticks and the bodies. Let's take a look at that hit. Here's Vecchione, and there's Billy Wilson. Vecchione gets him right under the chin. That had to hurt, and the fans loved it.
All right, here's Wilson. He quickly looks up this time. It's Billy Wilson, a real fine player out of Camillus, New York, in West Genesee High School. And now the Greyhounds down 4-1. Burnham and Canavine. That's Burnham. And Malika picks up the loose ball for Hopkins. And he's dumped to the turf. Tommy Sullivan for Hopkins. The offensive-minded defenseman comes racing in. We've seen more of that the last several games. And he's cut off by Wilson. Both of these teams have some pretty good size. 6'5" Jacobs, 6'4" Reardon. And Pacola met by Canavine.
That's not a matchup Loyola wants.
That's bouncing drive and a fine save by McGeeny, who smothers it. Kind of tough to handle those, Quint, on this wet AstroTurf. And now Loyola looking to fast break. As Anderson is doubled up. Kelly at 5'5" goes under an attempted check as he comes racing in. Leading scorer Terry Reardon out on top. Pacola trying to quick stick it in. And McGeeny goes to his knees. So Loyola playing very well defensively.
That's the first good save McGeany's made. Looked a little shaky in the first quarter, but maybe that'll get him back in gear.
All right, here's Jacobs with a steal. The Jays continuous pressure. Cavallaro at 5'5". His spin move led Hopkins a goal in that first quarter.
Pretty soon they're going to start calling that a Cavallaro instead of a spin move. Other teams know it's coming, but they can't stop it.
He's met by Canavine at 5'9".
Let's see if he unleashes it here.
So they're clearing the side for Cavallaro. He's a junior out of Corning East. Throws it behind the net. Look for somebody sliding in. Syracuse burned Loyola on numerous occasions when passes from behind and out on top. And now a fast break opportunity. It's a 3-on-1. Loyola racing in. Shot. Score! the numbers game in their advantage, and they cut the lead to 4-2.
Sean Heffernan on a 3-on-1. Transfer from Essex, only 5'6", 155 pounds. Smart play there. Hopkins didn't slide to him, and Heffernan sticks it. You can see he's looking for help, and then just decides to shoot it. Marcus got a piece, but the shot found the net, and then watch Heffernan after this. Very, very happy player after this. His brother also played at Loyola, Michael Heffernan. Nice shot between the legs of Marcus.
So now Loyola coming back at Johns Hopkins, and they win another face-off. Brian Basco, the freshman out of Farmingdale, New York. And he triggers it goalward. Easy save for Marcus. Casey Gordon, junior transfer, racing over the midfield line. I tell you, they're not picking the Jays up until maybe 10 yards, you notice, or allowing them to move at will outside about a 10-yard space. And off to the left now, this is Townsend. Reardon in tandem with David Townsend, the senior. Stan Wilson and Brendan Fry, a freshman out of Potomac, Maryland, out on top. Here's Gordon, and a save is made. That time, McGeeny. Now we got a delayed call coming up. So McGeeny starting to come to life as the last line of defense for the Greyhounds.
That's going to be a holding violation against number 12, Matt Dwan, who, ironically, his brother played for Hopkins. Billy Dwan graduated in 1991, was a star defenseman here for the Blue Jays. I wonder what Billy's thinking now out in the stands. Who should he root for? Should he root for his Hopkins Blue Jays or his brother's Loyola Greyhounds?
One of the best defensemen I've seen to play here at Johns Hopkins, Billy Dwan. And now Hopkins going on the attack with a 4-2 lead. Loyola has scored the only goal in the second quarter.
Hopkins up a man now for 30 seconds.
Here's Marchant. Reardon. All alone, Marr from behind. You can look for Hopkins to take the feed from behind. Quick stick shot. Score! What a play. Casey Gordon out of a mass of bodies. And he blisters the twine. And Johns Hopkins moves out by 3. So Kevin Beach, who has scored, he leads in goals and assists behind the defense. Heffernan shot. Score! Well, they forgot Heffernan, and he burned them big time. It's 5-3 now. Loyola coming right back at the Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins. And with 9:19 left in this second quarter, it's now Johns Hopkins University 5, Loyola College 3. And we'll be back with the rain coming down and the lights are shining here at Homewood. So now, following the Greyhounds goal that's brought them within 2, Hopkins' largest lead has been 3. And we've got 9:09 and counting. And once again, Vecchione sparkling off of the face-off, and he nets Hopkins' possession.
Vecchione's won 7 face-offs, and Loyola's only won 3.
Picola, who has been held scoreless thus far. Assist, the leader in both categories. Canabine, Ranabaugh, and Anderson, the top guns for the Greyhounds. Out on top, a shot is blocked by apparently the outer defense, and it was deflected across the end line. And now Loyola, a chance to back-to-back it for the first time, scoring consecutive goals. This is Pat Irvin.
Hopkins changing defenses. They started off in a zone, and now they're back to a man-to-man with Sullivan matching up against Beach. Actually, Sullivan's trying to shut Beach off and deny him the ball.
Quick turnaround shot, score! Kevin Anderson, and the Greyhounds come right back at the Blue Jays. It is now 5-4 Hopkins.
This is great execution by Loyola College here. This is nice half-field offense. You'll see Canabine dodging, but what we can't see right now is Anderson had a double pick there, confusing the Hopkins defense for an easy 3-yard shot with time and room. So that's a nice diagram play by Coach Cottle. You'll see, you didn't get a good view of it, but Anderson snaked through a bunch of bodies in there, and Hopkins couldn't stay with him.
Fashion to a 7-4 lead.
Peter Jacobs with the goal. That's his first of the evening. He's having a nice year with 8 goals and 2 assists. Jacobs only a sophomore. Watch Loyola here. The defenseman will give Jacobs the left hand. Jacobs is known as a right-handed player, but there proves that he can shoot lefty also with a nice offside bounce shot against McGeeny. Sometimes you can over-scout your opponent. Jacobs, known as a right-hander. Loyola takes his way as right-hand, but then he scores lefty. Nice play by Jacobs.
Both of these schools blessed with real fine athletic directors. Of course, Joe Boylan at Loyola and Bob Scott at Johns Hopkins University. Always both very gracious in our visits to both schools. As Brian Kelly takes it off the bench, replacing Casey Gordon.
This Memorial Day weekend down at College Park.
Well, of course, we were treated royally by Andy Geiger and Sue Tyler and the rest of the staff. Ivan Meltzer out at the University of Maryland, so we know that they'll be putting on quite a show. And as we mentioned, tickets are available for all the action. Of course, the women's national final, a game that we will be carrying, will also be played at College Park, Maryland.
It's a great weekend for lacrosse. I know during the morning they have coaching clinics and players clinics for little leaguers. There's a girls game, the Division III championship, and the Division I semifinals and finals. So it's just an all-around excellent weekend if you're a lacrosse fan or player.
Pat Irvin has played very well for Loyola. He's out of Annapolis, Maryland, attended St. Mary's High School, quite a water skiing enthusiast, and he is standing right now isolated behind the Johns Hopkins goal, and there he is as he's going to play it off to the leading scorer, Kevin Beach, now as the clock winds down in this second quarter. Loyola facing their largest deficit of 3.
Hopkins sitting in their zone defense.
Played off to the left side, slanting in. A shot at a save is made off of the left leg of the netminder. Well-intended play diagram by Dave Cottle. Sean Heffernan, who played at Essex Community College before coming to Loyola.
Marcus with a nice save there. He's not a flashy goaltender, but he plays solid position. And that time the ball hit him in the leg because he was in the right spot at the right time.
All right, here's Beach. He has scored 26 goals to go along with 11 assists to lead the Greyhounds in both categories. So you got to watch him and his bull dodging. 1:05 remaining. The rain continuing to fall here at Homewood. Slick AstroTurf. Under the lights here at Johns Hopkins University Homewood Field, where the Blue Jays enjoy a 7-4 lead over Loyola. And it was the Jays who got off to a quick start.
Brian Kelly taking a feed from Peter Jacobs. Beating goalie Tim McGeeny. Hopkins led 1-0. Nice shot by Kelly.
Brian Picola.
Picola here, operating behind the net and realizes that no one's on him. Watch him dive across the crease, beating McGeeny to the near post. Nice effort by Picola, showing no signs of those sore ribs.
Leading goal producer Kevin Beach, not to be denied.
Watch Beach just lean in here. 220 pounds of muscle, just lean in, and jam the ball down at Marcus's feet for the goal. Individual effort. Nice job by Beach.
Todd Cavallaro, known for his spin move on the outside.
There it is right there, the spin move. McGeeny kind of guesses low on this. Watch McGeeny guess low, and Cavallaro shoot the ball up to the top of the net. Nice play by Cavallaro.
Sean Heffernan got Loyola cracking.
3-on-1 break for Loyola. No one picks up Heffernan, and he beats Marcus between the legs. Heffernan only 5'5", but he's got 2 goals already.
Former Loyola basketball player Kevin Anderson.
This was a set play. Anderson catches the ball off a double pick and beats Marcus again between the legs. But nice offensive execution there by Loyola.
6'5", 200-pounder Peter Jacobs uses his size and strength to advantage.
And his left hand. That's his first left-handed goal of this season. Predominantly a right-hander, but there he puts it in his left. Nice bounce shot.
All right, let's take a look now at the statistics brought to you by Pizza Hut. The score, Hopkins leading 7-4, shots on goal even at 18-16, saves 7-6, face-offs 9-4. Hopkins 33-31 on ground balls. Leading scorer for the Jays, Jacobs, Picola, Gordon, and Spino with 1 goal apiece. And of course, for Loyola, they have scored 4 goals. Heffernan with a pair. Beach and Anderson have captured the other 2. So we're about ready for the start of the second half. Loyola has never led. They are trailing by their largest margin of 3 as Canabine goes at it against Steve Vecchione for the Blue Jays.